call the meeting to order. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Could I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Councilmember Switzer?
Here.
Councilmember Phillips?
Here.
Councilmember Holt?
Here.
Councilmember McCafferty?
Here.
Vice Mayor Garneal?
Here.
Mayor Armstrong?
Here.
And our town attorney is present.
Item 2, call to the public.
Call to the public is an opportunity for the public to address the council on any issue within the jurisdiction of the council. Public comment is at the discretion of the council and not required by law. Individuals are limited to speak for 3 minutes. Yielding of time will not be permitted. The total time for call to the public may be up to 30 minutes per meeting. Council action taken as a result of public comment on items not on the agenda will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, scheduling the matter for further consideration and decision at a later date, or responding to criticism. Public comment is invited and encouraged. However, personal attacks on individuals is not appropriate. Disrespectful behavior will not be tolerated. This includes loud outbursts, profanity, and disruptive discussions among our audience. I did not have any filed cards tonight, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Item 3, current events, summaries, and reports. A, status reports by mayor and council regarding current events. Larry?
No, sir.
Robert? No, sir. Sherry?
No.
John?
Yeah, just one thing. I guess there's congratulations in that order. You're running unopposed, and we're going to probably have 3 newly elected council members with actually no election per se, because it feels like there's no competition. Now, I'm kind of personally disappointed in that because I felt like our town has finally crossed the Rubicon, and we went into a direction where potentially good candidates were forced out, threatened with their livelihoods, people doxxed, and I just feel like this town has allowed outsiders, some to influence insiders, to take the political path that we often see in a neighboring state, and it's really disappointing because it's not something I'd ever thought I'd see in Arizona. That's all I have, sir.
Just one note on yours, John. Nothing is set in stone. Madam Town Manager, it's all yours.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. I have several announcements for you this evening. We want to let everyone know that we have 2 open positions in the town. We're hiring for a library assistant part-time, a police officer recruit or lateral, and a senior records technician in the town clerk's department. So if you are interested in working for the town, we're always looking for good people. You can go to our website and get more information. We have a very special announcement this evening. Sarah Burchill, sitting to the left, right, which side you are, of our town clerk, is our deputy town clerk, and she has earned the designation of certified municipal clerk. This was awarded to her by the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. They grant the CMC designation only to municipal clerks who complete demanding educational requirements, have a record of significant contributions to their local government, community, and state. The International Institute of Municipal Clerks was founded in 1947, has 14,000 members throughout the United States, Canada, and 1,500 countries, and the mission of this global nonprofit organization is to enhance the educational opportunities and professional development of its membership. In light of the speed and drastic nature of change these days, lifelong learning is not only desirable, it is necessary for all local governments to keep pace with growing demands and changing needs of the citizens we serve and the regulations we must abide by. Your town can take immense pride in Sarah's educational accomplishments and the achievements this milestone represents. Thank you, Sarah. So you both have that. So both of our staff, our clerk and our deputy clerk, both have that designation. Okay. The town of Chino Valley is kicking off its zoning ordinance update. Please join the town on Wednesday, April 8th at 5 p.m. It'll be here in the town council chambers, and that's where we'll be talking in our zoning ordinance update. So we have a really disconnected and disjointed ordinance, and so this new effort is going to bring it all together It's going to hopefully put us in a position where we can do business better and more effectively. So we like as much community input as possible. So please join us for that, and you'll find more information on our website. The community is invited to join the town in celebrating the groundbreaking for the relocation of our disc golf course. This is made possible by a grant fund that we received, a $50,000 grant. I can't tell you more because the organization that is awarding that grant is going to do a big public event. But we're very excited that this is another project we wouldn't have been able to do without outside funding. So look for more information for that, and we want everybody to come and join us and celebrate that. Our next community development block grant public hearing will be held during our next council meeting. The town council is expected to receive, the town is expected to receive approximately $312,000 in FY26 federal community development block grant funds from the Arizona Department of Housing regional account. These funds must be used to benefit low-income persons in areas, alleviate slum and blight, or address urgent needs. Citizens can provide input into the projects that were identified in this first hearing and published in the last Chino Valley Review. That will be next Tuesday, April 14th at 6 p.m. here in the Town Council chambers. And let's see, we got that one. The groundbreaking. We have on April 25th, a little bit of notice, Saturday the 25th from 9 to 1, it will be the Territorial K-9 Stroll, and this is an event that benefits our K-9, the police department's K-9 unit. So there's flyers out front, there's more information online, but please sign up and join that stroll and benefit our K-9 department. And finally, we also have one more very exciting piece of news. We were informed by APS this year is their 140th anniversary. And as part of that, they're doing lots of public events, and they wanted to get back to the community, and they identified a handful of projects that they want to fund as part of their APS commemoration of their anniversary. The largest award is going to be received by the town of Chino Valley. We're getting $100,000 for our Fred Harvey farm. So thank you to the committee, thank you to Maggie, and all of the people. We're going to be bringing that to the Fred Harvey committee, and they are, just let us know, they're going to do a big event. They want to bring all their VIPs out to our Fred Harvey farm and invite other people out, and hopefully that will parlay even to more people interested in investing in that project. But very exciting that of all the projects in the area, ours was selected as one of them and to get the biggest award. Thank you, Mayor and Council. That's all I have this evening.
Thank you. Item 4, consent agenda. Would anyone like to remove an item from the consent agenda to be heard separately?
No, sir. Mr. Mayor, 4B, please.
Please do. Item 4B, consideration and possible action to approve a budget transfer in the amount of $42,112 from general fund contingency to the court special revenue fund for court security enhancements. Council Member Switzer.
So I think it's important to clarify the requested action authorizes a capacity transfer only. The actual expense is to be funded using existing restricted court enhancement funds and not general fund dollars. As it kind of states there, it's a little confusing. So the funds are coming from already available funds from the court and not from the general fund.
Can I have a motion to approve 4B?
I make a motion to approve a budget capacity transfer in the amount of $42,112 for court security enhancements from general fund contingency to the court special revenue fund.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None heard. Motion carries. Thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion on the remainder of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve consent item A, C, D, E, F, G, and H as provided in the agenda
I have
packet.
a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None heard. Motion carries. Item 5, action items. Consideration and possible action to approve a public utility easement for Pepper Tree Place in connection with the Highlands Apartments.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. Steve and I are going to tag team this one a little bit. I wanted to preface this by, you saw in the packet, there was a little bit of confusion with the wording and the understanding, and so of what the intent of council was. Whether there is definitely a difference between a simple public utility easement and a ingress egress public utility easement. In discussing that with the developer, they said that they are willing to do a public utility easement. If the town really wants an ingress egress public utility easement, then they just want to go back to the right of way. So as you might remember, during that time, there was, whether it was going to be a road, whether it was necessary, the town recommended the right-of-way as the direction to go, but council felt comfortable at that time in the conversation that that wasn't necessary, that we just needed a utility easement. So we want to make sure, and that to bring that back. So we have brought both back. We are bringing both options back to you so we can go one direction or another tonight because the developer is anxious to move forward with the project. So with that, do you have some slides, Steve? Sure. Thank you.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. Steve Sullivan, Town Engineer. So this is kind of a general layout of the project. Last time it came to you as a 25-foot dedication along Pepper Tree Place, and it's kind of depicted there. During the council meeting on January 13th, after discussions with the developer and staff, town council requested that the right-of-way dedication be changed to public utility easement. The developer initially agreed to change during the meeting, but later expressed concern that was a misunderstanding about the town council's intentions and actual request. After consulting with legal counsel, it is believed that the town council may have intended for staff to bring back a public utility easement rather than ingress, egress, and public utility easement recommended by staff. If that is correct, and the town council wants the developer to grant a full ingress, egress, and public utility easement, the developer requests that the consideration be reverted to action to accept the right-of-way dedication. Staff has prepared both action or options. So this is the original 25-foot dedication legal exhibit. This is currently what the developer is proposing. It's two separate water easements that overlap to your left, water infrastructure, including hydrants, an air vacuum release assembly, and a blow-off. The blue areas represent those easements. The red areas and the blue areas indicate the initial dedication, and the orange area indicates the existing dedication. And to your right, kind of shows the overall Pepper Tree area, the orange being existing, yellow up top against Juniper Drive is proposed right-of-way dedication in conjunction with Craftsman Court. Just south of that is an existing 25-foot ingress egress public utility easement that exists. Just south of that in the gray is a proposed rezone and lot split where there could either be a 25-foot ingress egress public utility easement or 25-foot right-of-way dedication. South of that, there is nothing proposed, and then the red all the way up against 1 East is the initial proposed dedication. So within that could be the full 50-foot way for Pepper Tree Place and potentially room for a sewer main. So with that,
Questions?
Is there
Larry?
a preference?
No. Robert?
So I think the way we left it last was the 25-foot utility easement, and then the applicant was going to landscape that. Was that, am I correct in that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's still on the table.
That is not a current proposal, but that could be.
That's not a current proposal? That's the way we left it at that meeting. That's what I understood that we agreed to, is it was going to be a 25-foot utility easement, and the applicant was going to landscape that section. Was willing to, anyway.
So as it's proposed now, it would just be the necessary easements for the water infrastructure that would belong to the town.
Can we hear from the applicant? or we're gonna wait until we, does anybody else have any questions? John?
I just want to make sure. Steve, from your perspective as the town engineer, would just whatever amount of land that would be for the easement, public utility easement for those utilities, are we going to be fine from your perspective? We don't need any more, any wider or anything, do we?
Pepper Tree ultimately would just be the 50 feet. What's being proposed by the developer now is just segments in the blue, not the full. So the red plus the blue would be the full.
So with what originally was being requested would give us the opportunity in the future to make that a road
Right.
if we needed to. The debate was whether that would ever become a road. Is it worth making the developer do that if it won't, or, well, we don't,
Well, there's also a APS utility box right in front of that, correct?
Correct.
So I don't see it ever becoming a road, but that would be a major obstacle anyways.
and therein led to going from a right-of-way to a public utility.
Easement. Well, that's where I stand anyways.
I'm all for it.
Sherry?
No.
John?
No, I'm good.
Question for the applicant. Sir, would you like to come up and explain what you'd like to do? Since there is some question to it. Please.
I would say that you're right. We left to do a public utility easement instead of a right-of-way. And when we went to draw that up, we discovered that in none of the plans are there any utilities in any of that space. And so the only utilities were 3 water lines that crossed: the bottom, the top, and in the middle. And we submitted those, and Steve said that we didn't need the one in the middle. And so we took that off. It's our intent that that's open space in the community and that it's amenities for the community, that it'll be landscaped and artificial turf, and it, we'd like to do a pickleball court. I mean, we'd like to use that space as open space and as amenities for the community. There is APS right
There.
down there, a switch box, and then the top here is a fence and private property and a riding arena of sort. And so I agree, there's never going to be a road there. And so we don't want it to be a weed patch.
Okay.
So which of those two proposals are you in favor of?
The blue public utility easements.
Okay, and then you plan on using that property to benefit your project
Yes.
and the town, basically.
Yes.
That's what I'd be in favor of.
Further questions? Robert, you want to go ahead and make that?
I'd make a motion to approve a public utility easement for Pepper Tree Place in connection with Highlands Apartments.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mayor, if I can, I'm sorry, but we have to do roll call vote. This is an action item.
That's true. I'm very sorry. This will be a roll call vote.
Here we go.
Whoever put that,
I have no idea.
gotcha.
Right
Councilman,
here. We're up here.
Okay.
Councilmember Switzer,
Yes.
Councilmember Holt,
Yes.
Councilmember Phillips,
Yes.
Councilmember McCafferty,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gurneal,
Yes.
Mayor Armstrong.
Yes.
Thank you. Passes.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item 6, Sherry.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I will
Aye.
entertain a motion to go to study session.
Make a motion, we go to study session.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'm doing it anyway, and I may even ask for a roll call vote. We adjourn the regular meeting into study session. Thank you very much. Could I have a roll call, please? You can't go nowhere, Larry.
I'm not. Just go to the trash can. I can talk later. I'm sure you've heard that.
Okay, so called to order 6:20. Councilmember Switzer.
Here.
Councilmember Phillips.
Here.
Councilmember Holt.
Here.
Councilmember McCafferty.
Here.
Vice Mayor Granillo. Lose him. Lost him. Vice Mayor Granillo.
Sorry, I thought it was a different Zoom, but
Nope, same one.
here.
Thank you. Mayor Armstrong.
Here.
And our town attorney is still present.
Okay, item 2, presentation discussion regarding economic development strategic plan by Maggie Holmberg, Economic Development Manager. Madam Holmberg, you're up.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We are here tonight to talk about economic development initiatives and strategic planning together. The intent of this evening is to identify commercial corridors in town with infrastructure that is currently at least somewhat around it to start attracting more business to town to generate revenue. So on this side of economic development, we're going to be talking about commercial areas, and that'll be all in terms of what I do in my role. But so that's what we're going to go over tonight. We're going to take you through a couple maps and different corridors one by one, talk about the benefits of that corridor, and then hopefully we will get some, sorry, I've got really bad allergies right now, direction from you guys as to what corridor we want to focus on so we can start really dialing in on that corridor and figuring out how to extend infrastructure that we need to attract the businesses. So with that, we'll get started. Thank you. So as you can see from the map here, this map comes from the general plan. I've identified 3 different zones in town. One is at the very south side of town, which is in an HMU. It's called South Gateway Center. The second one we'll be talking about is Southgate Center, which is an activity center. And the third one is Uptown Center, which is also an HMU. So Southgate Center is at the very southern part of the town. As you can see here, it's right there at the outer loop. Parcel 1, well, number 1 that is Circle K that is going to be coming in. That's a 5,200 square foot Circle K. The land adjacent to it is available for sale right now. And another opportunity is empty cannabis farm building that is there. And then again, across the street, we have about 4.7 acres available for sale by TDH Investments. Just as a caveat to that one, the few times I have spoke to them, a lot of the times people in town think their land is more valuable than it is, and it makes it really difficult for it to sell to a developer. In the blue is where we have water, and this is not the right. So that's supposed to be green on the sewer line. I didn't save the one. At the top of parcel 2, that's where we have sewer. So as you can see here, we have water through our IGA for the city of Prescott along the front of the 89 there. And then we have the sewer is an opportunity on the backside of this greater size parcel here.
Maggie, if you use the mouse for your pointer, then they'll be able to see. They can't see your finger up on that screen.
Are you
Thanks.
calling me blonde? Yes, so the blue identified here is where the IGA with the city of Prescott is. And then, pardon me, this is supposed to be green, but this is where we have sewer. So right now we are in a process of creating a development agreement with the Circle K to bring sewer down. Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, this way. Okay.
And this, and thank you for that, Maggie. I'm going to chirp in. This is one of those things where you have said, sometimes
Do you need your
we have to
microphone?
spend, I think it'll pick it up. Spend money to make money, and there's this one we're going to bring will require an investment from the town that we can put and get back when the other one develops. But we think that's something that is worth exploring. So that's going to be coming to you at a future agenda. But that is allowing this, doing 2 things: getting them instead of being on septic, on sewer, and allowing the project to move forward. So caveat for things to come.
Yeah. And so following each area that we'll go over, each 3 zones that we refer to, I'll be going over what is called a SWOT analysis. So in economic development and a lot of other areas of study, that's your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You're going to see kind of a repetitive theme as we go through each of these, but this is a very strategic location. This is our entrance to town. It's at the Outer Loop Road, which brings all the traffic from Williamson Valley, so it brings some more shoppers in. We have water and sewer available east of the side of Highway 89. High traffic counts. One of the weaknesses would be that the cost across the Highway 89 with sewer is not inexpensive. And the cost of tying into the city of Prescott water lines along 89 comes with, I think, about a 35% increase of what we sell water for here. So that creates a little bit of a challenge. An opportunity, again, the Circle K breaking ground. Once people start seeing that will allow other interests. People will go, oh, okay, well, Circle K is going in there. That must mean this is a viable area, and it will create a buzz and hopefully a complementary business adjacent to it.
And the Circle K project will bring the egress from ADOT, from 89 to that whole parcel. So anybody that comes in won't have to deal with ADOT.
That's a very, very, very key strength on that project. And the turn in and is that what you're talking about, in and out? Yeah, and the driveway will be in place, so whoever else comes in is not going to have that cost. So it makes it very attractive. And then competing communities is always one of our threats. And then this is not an HMU. This is the Southgate Center. It's the 27 acres just to the south of National Bank. It's owned by Chino Valley Southgate 27 LLC, who also owns the Hawks Nest development over behind Sherwin-Williams. Parcels, so if you can see here, parcels 11 through 14 and 16 through 19, and that's number 2. Those are all about 1 acres, and that's a different owner. But the Southgate Center has been the most heavily marketed parcel in town. It's the most shovel-ready site, in my opinion, in the Yavapai County. It has water and sewer, ADOT work done, and a lot of potential. It's being marketed for a grocery anchored shopping center very heavily. We've had a lot of interest, but no one has pulled the trigger yet. So the SWOT analysis on that, the strategic location, again, anything along a highway is going to be a strategic location. The water and sewer available on the east side, high traffic counts again. That is also the nicest intersection that we have in town. One of the downfalls on that when I've talked to developers is because the ADOT highway, it's hard to turn in if you're heading south. So you would have to do a turnaround. But we have explained to them all you have to do is people are used to doing that in town, turn around. So there's a church across the street. So sometimes if you have a shopping center that has liquor, we'd have to kind of figure out to make sure that they're far enough away from them. And it is already platted for a shopping center with a big box use. It's affordable and available land. City of Prescott water lines, that's good and bad. Town of Chino Valley sewer lines is a positive. It's shovel ready. And again, competing communities make it really difficult. And also the capital cost to build a grocery anchored shopping center in the world we are in today is very high. And then the third and final area, there's 2 parts to this one, is the Uptown Center, is an HMU. This is our community core, period. There are several areas around the Safeway Shopping Center that have potential. So Heritage Place is 10 plus acres. It's owned by a commercial broker. He and I have been working for a long time trying to attract someone to there. And then across the street you have your Hawks Nest. You also have the former Pepper Jacks at number 2 that's available, and that's ready to go for someone else who wants to sell hamburgers or a sandwich or something like that. We have number 3, you have the 1.5 acres, it's commercial heavy. And then number 4, you have 3.5 acres for a possible redevelopment area. And again, you're going to kind of see some of the same themes across these SWOT analysis, the location, water, high traffic counts. possible surrounding housing communities that could be coming in to support that. Negative is a lack of sewer in that area. ADOT, hodgepodge development. You have a lot of a house in between, a Sonic and a Burger King and a lot of that going on over there. An opportunity is existing commercial businesses that are there. And then we have the Prescott water line still, and then affordable and available land for both residential and commercial use. So we did Uptown Center in two parts because there's a little bit more to it. The number one on this that you see is at Perkinsville Road. That's the ADOT yard. That's approximately 9 acres of public land zoned. We have talked to them several times over the years about moving the yard, where they can move it to, possibly selling it. They haven't been the greatest players in that. Not even as to selling it. We even thought about doing a land swap to get them off the highway. It is a big eyesore, and it's got a lot of, it's a perfect spot. It's got 9 acres. And it has water and sewer to the property. And then you have across the street from there, the Chino Valley Business Park Marketplace. There is 10 plus acres there. That is difficult because there's more than one owner. So trying to do a big development there would be difficult for someone, but there is a lot of opportunity there if we can get sewer across the highway. And then you have Butterfield Plaza. There are a lot of vacant buildings there right now. That's the former Shopco and the Price store, the Falling Prices store, pardon me. And you have an owner who, they're based out of California. This is a Class C asset for them. And a lot of times that's called a depreciated asset because you can write off of taxes. So they are a lackluster owner, and to do anything to the property to improve it and all of that is not in their best interest. So it's a little bit challenging. However, November of this year, the non-compete, not with the town, with the former Safeway. So let me step back. The guy who owns all that property used to be the director of real estate for the Safeway companies. See, he since retired, 25 years ago, and there was a non-compete in place that he would not open another store in that building. That ends this November. So when that ends, they are going to start marketing to a smaller size store there, which is great news.
Does that mean the rumors will go away?
We hope.
No, doubtful. So again, the SWOT analysis on that, another strategic location, we have high traffic counts. Some of the downfalls, we have lack of sewer, and that is vacant Class C commercial property. And some of the opportunities are those vacant commercial buildings that can be suitable for small businesses that are just looking for, 1,500 square foot space or something like that. We have available land and water and sewer to the highway via Perkinsville. And so, Old Home Manor, we kind of have talked about this several times, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I'll just kind of go over what we've talked about. We've discussed it being an outdoor recreation hub, about getting an RV park there. Thank you, Jess, for getting the staging area grant for Arizona State Parks to put a staging area out there. The Perkinsville Road excursions that we market to tourism, dry camping, hopefully an activity lawn for our recreation staff. I know they've been wanting that. We have the disc golf coming, and a demonstration garden, something we've also spoke about. But the main thing that I wanted to bring up again is to sell or not to. Each parcel is valued at approximately $1.1 million. Since 2023, when state statute changed, we can sell up to $15 million without going out to a public vote. And the town is not a developer. So we, in the future, hopefully get to have an opportunity to speak with you all again about whether or not that's something that we want to explore, which is selling the land.
And if I might on that one, and she's going to talk a little bit more, but as you're thinking about that, there's options. You can sell the land outright, and then, only inhibited by the zoning, what they can do. You can sell it like we did the other one that's for a specific purpose, like an RV park or with a limited use that they have to have, so it's tourism, recreation, so, or, you can't sell it, so, or we can keep it and develop it on our own. But those are the kinds of things to think about as you're thinking about whether we want to sell land and which piece out there and how it fits in with the other things that are going on. Thank you, Maggie.
So this is just a very top level, some of my goals and plan moving forward. And this is just on the commercial side, the commercial business side of things. There are a lot of other things that I do. I wear many hats. But when it comes to focusing on bringing new tax dollars to town, this has been a plan that we've all talked about, something that we have been working on. The market is changing. Things are picking up. They're picking up on the retail side, and developers are starting to come out and look again. So on the retail recruitment, grocery anchor shopping center, that's definitely been really, really high on the agenda. Quick and full service restaurants, retention and expansion of current establishments. And then on the tourism side, I'm continuing to market and advertise the Discover Chino Valley tourism campaigns so that we have visitors come in and keep building up on that. And then on the hospitality side, trying to reach out to a hotel and motel, and then the RV park that we've been working on for several years. So with that being said, what I'd like to do is just kind of start from the beginning, and with our team, kind of go through these different slides, and we can kind of have a discussion with you guys and answer your questions as to what are the benefits of being in this particular zone. What about the other one? So out of those three, which one do you guys think is most viable and beneficial to the town? And then we have Steve here, our engineer, to talk about the infrastructure, because what the idea here is that this ties all the pieces of the puzzle together, so that when we're doing recruitment for businesses, this is the kind of stuff that I have to look at to be able to know where I can put them. And it's been very challenging. So if we can select a specific one or two even, that we can start getting some of the infrastructure put in, we have a better chance of recruiting business. So, Town Manager, do you have anything that you'd like to add, or Will or Lori?
Open for questions.
Okay.
Questions, comments, Larry?
Where would you start?
I know.
First off, the pot farm, although it's not in business, it is still owned by them. I'd still like to see it become a nice facility. It's got heat, water, everything you need. Do you think maybe Bonnie Farms might be interested in that piece?
So that is definitely something I have thought about, so thank you, Councilmember Holt. Quite possibly. They are over off of Perkinsville right now, and maybe consolidate them into one piece, and expanding might be an option for them.
I do like the South Center just because that number 2 is such a large parcel, and that would be something that if we were looking to put in an anchor, that would be a good place to throw the anchor. That's it from me.
Robert?
So the IGA with Prescott, as far as water goes, is that a must, shall, may? I mean, how is that? That's a stumbling block, right? That's not a. In other words, all these is there any area that's preferential for Prescott to do water hookups versus another one?
There's not a preferential thing, so that's a double-edged sword, because it did allow us to have water along our highway that we did not have before, but that increased cost has never been attractive. But it's also something that's been throughout town for a while. I think we're the best area for trying to avoid that a little bit, so that people can hook up otherwise, would be the South Gate Center. Not this one, the one that is where the Grocery Acre Shopping Center would possibly go. That's not an if, that'll happen at some point.
But is Prescott?
So the IGA is, and I would have to verify, I don't know if our town attorney remembers either, but they have to provide commercial businesses along that.
Is their understanding?
Yes, that's the understanding, but they do get to charge the 30%.
Isn't there a distance on that? Has to be within so many?
It's like parcels directly abutting state road.
Okay.
Additionally to that, I know there's an upcharge on service fee for the water. They also can't guarantee fire flow.
Yeah, they
And
don't.
so that comes down to a pretty big chunk, because if you're going to connect to town Prescott water, but you're not going to get guaranteed fire flow, it's for residential.
So again, how does that put one of these places in a preferential? They're all going to need fire flow.
So it's easier to obtain fire flow once you have a municipal supply like that. You can use booster pumps or tanks to help supplement that in. It's easier, especially if you have a food service coming in. I mean, money. But if you have food service, you don't have to go through state approval for water quality when you're selling food.
And if it's a, shopping center or something, that's a low water use, so paying that charge wouldn't be prohibitive because they're not going to use that much water. I like the South Gateway Center also, but the ones that are south of Circle K there, you say that owner is not, they want more than the land's worth, so. Because that would really be a prime spot too, but that's a lot of land.
It's a low area.
That's not number 4. Number 4 is across the highway.
Correct, but so in other words, that large area is not really even in the picture.
That is in, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, in a pretty big floodplain. I do know they have it for sale, but the cost to develop that's going to be a lot higher than the other opportunities that we have in town right now.
There's still quite a bit of land.
Yeah, but it's a lot of land.
If you go east, it would
It's not that it won't happen. I think that would be a little bit further down the road when there's other available properties for someone that wants to come in to look at first.
Floodplain.
Obviously, staying on the east side is preferential for water, so, and sewer.
Sherry? No. John?
Go ahead,
One
Robert.
more question.
Go ahead.
On Old Home Manor, you say we can sell lots in there. They're valued 1.1 each. How many are there potentially?
Well, you can sell up to 15 million.
So 15 we could sell without going to a vote.
Per year?
But how many are there
Oh,
total?
Ooh, I don't
In other words,
know.
if you sold 15, then
So
We'll
they're
get that
all,
for you.
okay.
yeah, we'll get back to you on that because they're all, the 48 were parcels all there. So.
We'll send you a map that has all of the parcels, the ones that have current uses and the ones that are just vacant.
Sherry?
No.
John?
Meg, can you go to your picture that has the slide with the general plan that shows the whole city, basically? And one of the first things I noticed, and I understood, I think you prefaced it because of the traffic, but how much thought are we given toward getting our business core off of 89?
That's a great
Going east or
question.
west further, because, I mean, at some point, ADOT is going to become a barrier because they're going to require turn lanes, which are going to price projects out, and all these other things, so I'm
They're
thinking.
already a barrier.
Huh?
They're already
Yeah.
a barrier.
Agreed. So I'm just saying, I mean, and then all the way north, like, eventually someday Tom's gonna manage to get 3 north to 5 north expanded. So there's a whole other future economic corridor.
Okay, so let me answer your question. So if you go to, just by providing an example for you, I think that's the easier way to answer that question.
Yeah.
This is an old slide deck, so I'm glad that I printed this out for you guys. So, you can't see. Give me 1 second. Okay, so right here, you have where the Safeway, that's actually across the street, so you have where the Sherwin-Williams is at. That was a lot of going back and forth between Development Services and myself and Sherwin-Williams to encourage them to get off the highway. They had to be on the highway, blah, 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 blah. So the idea is starting to take some of that commercial stuff to your west here, and where number 1 is, where that 10 acres is, start trying to pull stuff that way, especially in this main commercial corridor right here initially. And also where 4 is, where the Tractor Supply is going to be hopefully going in. They're in negotiations right now. We can create also some movement between number 1 and number 4, not using the highway. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm still not using my.
That'll help.
So here's the 10 acres, and then here would be your Tractor Supply. So the idea to get the traffic flow to start coming more like this. Is that kind of what we were thinking? So that's one of the starting points where we were trying to pull it off the highway and kind of get more into town. Does that answer your question,
Well,
Councilman?
that's good. And I'm thinking even further north. You know where Casa Grande is?
Yes.
Okay, so in my mind, I'm thinking of the town of Scottsdale, old town of Scottsdale. When I grew up as a little kid, it looked like Chino to a small degree. And the businesses over the years started buying up all the houses, and now look what it is. I mean, I'm not suggesting that's what we want to be, but, I mean, going between the senior center and here just seems to me like a logical corridor, because we already got businesses started going westward, and just keep promoting that direction all the way to the senior center. And then we're getting them off of 89, and we don't have to deal with 89 or 89 at all.
Yes, and that's a really, really good idea. Our challenge again is where the water and sewer is at.
Oh, I forgot about
And
those
a
two.
lot of the times, national tenants won't even have a look if there's not sewer in place.
And then the last question is that big plot of land to the east of this Heritage School. All the bare land you're looking at right there.
Yes, and that's another 90 acres, and I believe, Will, that's not part of Hawks Nest, but that's actually available for sale right now.
Correct, yes.
And is there any thoughts to, because on the very, very north, I think it's called Antelope, is it where we're bringing in sewer? Isn't that where we're bringing in the sewer line?
The street is Angus.
Angus, thank you.
Over here,
Angus,
Steve?
right at the very top right there. So that will provide the beginning corridor of sewer to this geographic area, which could be a good business area. Once again, it's easy accessible. It's off at 89. And it is sort of a high traffic area in the future, right? So, I mean, are we trying to promote that and work deals to make this maybe a potential commercial corridor?
Yes, and it is our main one right now. Absolutely, that's our center of town. But did you have something to add?
So, we have had talks with developers specifically looking at those 90 acres. Home builders more so because they have those entitlements already as it sits. Within the HMUs, they have a certain cap on how many residential units you can have within the HMU. And within this, the marketing that this home builder has, because there's nothing official on this at this point in time, but they've found this site as the most walkable land for a upstart community. Because you can walk to schools, you can walk to a grocery store, and they've claimed that it's the most walkable piece of land in northern Arizona from their market perspective. So they're looking at it as more of a community. With it being in part of the HMU, we can do some pretty cool stuff at making it
Flexible.
yes.
And they could do some commercial in
Yes.
there.
Have you ever been, do you know where the REI and Eddie Bauer is in Flagstaff?
Yes.
Okay, do you know how that's, and then like Prescott Valley's kind of doing something like that over near the stadium?
Yes.
Is that what you're kind of talking about?
To a degree, but less dense.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah, so our general plan only calls, is it 6 or 8 dwelling units? 8 dwelling units per acre as our highest residential density, which would be multifamily in this case. That's still pretty, oh, went out, okay. Testing. So just relatively speaking, from a development standpoint, 8 dwelling units is still pretty low with the cost of infrastructure. So I think it's going to be hard to get a similar development to that level. Then I don't think necessarily the community wants that as a whole.
So therein is the rub to make, because this is more of thank you.
This is more of the in-town urban section where you might see higher density housing being acceptable, where in the rural, we keep our larger, and that might make something viable, but that would mean coming to you and making exceptions to what's in place currently.
So the last question is, you want to know A, B, or C, or was it 1, 2, or 3? A, B, or C, which one do we advocate for the most? Because I argue there's a D, but the north.
I think that, yes, we would like some direction on that, to really put a focus area on one place where we can decide to do our capital improvements. And so that's when you see that the whole team works together. So you have, our Public Works Department, town engineer doing the infrastructure. You have your planners, and then you have me going, screaming at everybody to come open their business in town. So this puts all those pieces of the puzzle together so you kind of can see how that works. And so giving us that direction will allow us to kind of put a focus on one of those areas. I will say this is a really good starting point on this particular one, just because there's so much potential housing coming in. You already have some businesses already here. You have available commercial land. There is a couple challenges though with sewer on this one. Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but the sewer line on the east side of the highway runs underneath Safeway, so that's a whole other issue. Is that correct?
The sewer related to the Safeway development is private.
It's private.
They tie into us in Chino.
Okay, all right. So again, there's no sewer. You'd have to decide if you want to spend money to pull sewer up or down, and then what that looks like, and how the gravity flows and all of that would be a later discussion once you guys have identified which of these 3 areas that you would like us to focus a little bit more on. We can really dig a little deeper and study it more.
If you're asking me, I like, what is that, C right there? That's C. Yeah, I like C because it allows us to expand and go further west to get off 89. Because I think the future is town. We got to create if we can. And this may not be the best example, but like Clarkdale, they got a little central place where we can actually have community and we can walk. You know, we can walk around and see each other. This town, Safeway to what's the sandwich place called? Subway. I can't believe I couldn't remember that. But Safeway, that's like our only walking area. There's nowhere for community to walk, get out, or do anything. We need to establish a central business district that has a character of community. We don't have that. We're not going to get it on 89. We're going to have to get off of 89.
And you're correct, as far as establishing identity of a town, it tends to be whether that's Prescott, that's what their civic square is. Clarkdale, it's their civic square, so we don't really have that here. And that's even a long-term discussion as we grow, does that become, a town hall or a civic center that everything grows then around? And that becomes a town investment. Because if, we're outgrowing where we're at, and some point we're going to have that discussion. So maybe that is part of a long-term plan of making this walkable civic area.
But fire suppression is out, and Steve already talked about
Crazy.
that.
It's not going to happen.
We're going to have to have infrastructure, capital improvement that's going to expand fire suppression because we're asking small businesses to build towns and they just can't afford it.
But maybe staff could put together which one of these you like best as far as not necessarily the minimum would be the cheapest one to add infrastructure to, but the pros and cons of this one's going to cost this much to get infrastructure to get things going. This one's going to cost this much. That would give us a better idea of how much capital outlay we're going to have to go to get something going.
So am I understanding that you would like to see that done in all 3 of these?
Well, no, but maybe A and C.
Are we still planning on coming underneath the highway with sewer at Perkinsville and coming to tie in at Angus and come south to the trailer park down at Center Street?
We need funding.
Obviously, we need funding on everything, yeah.
So there have been engineering plans done on that.
Okay, Jesse, get on the mount, it's what I need, darling, please, okay?
What I would say is part of that is we can talk about too where it exists and where extensions might make a difference. Like, we're going to come to you with Circle K. If you're willing to do this agreement, that opens up that hole. If there's other places where, like going under Perkinsville, what that might open up, where those investments might be, whether it's we try to find funds, but where those extensions would be the biggest bang for the buck.
Because you've got open land next door to the dental place, across from Casa Grande, behind the apartment house. If you bring the sewer right into that area, I mean, you've got a kind of a strip mall situation where somebody's church has moved into where Radio Shack used to be. There's room there just off of the ambulance place. I mean, that could be a start to an ideal area. For me, there's 2 areas of concern. One, the pot farm down there in the south. Is there any kind of movement with them? Can we spur them on, do something? If they're not going to do anything with the building, let's see what we can do.
Yes, and I have spoke to his broker on that and called him individually myself. He has been not very responsive lately, and I think that we can all attest to that.
Okay.
But we can keep trying.
Yeah, the other thing is that 8-out yard at Perkinsville and the highway. I mean, there's an ideal spot where the county's got theirs over on 1 South. All they need to do is move their stuff over there and collate with the county, and we'll buy, deal, steal, whatever we got to do to get that property on the highway. To me, that is a major, major, major concern, because that is nothing but an eyesore and fantastic land for anything but what they're using it for.
Yes, it's very frustrating right
Water,
there. It
sewer,
is.
great.
Yeah, it's all there. I mean, and what are they doing with it? They're using the college to test truck drivers.
we've had a discussion, they're getting a new regional
There,
director.
yeah, there's new leadership coming on board that I think is going to be a little bit more proactive when it comes to working with
The one
municipalities.
regional director from ADOT you will be happy to talk to,
Okay.
but don't expect anything.
Kind of hard because all of them are desirable. So B obviously is a fantastic spot also. So,
Yes.
yeah, B is also prime. So, I guess
Eric, anything?
I agree with John. I think we need to move east and west on Perkinsville and move towards Old Home Manor at the end of the day. So if that, and you, Tom, with the sewer running to the west, that's going to open up a lot of potential.
So if I'm looking at it, we'd like to see proposals for the different areas and what it might cost to do and what the possibilities are, and bring that back to us at not a study session, so we can actually hammer it out and see what we can get to you guys and get hopefully something moving in that direction.
Okay.
So we will put together a cost analysis, and then also we can combine that with speaking about Old Home Manor and getting some direction on what you guys would like to do, buy or sell the land out there.
Is anybody coming forth
selling.
wanting to buy out there?
I believe that if it was marketed correctly, and now that with the potential to be able to sell a lot more than we were before, that it would have some interest.
Do you think the RV park's gonna help us in that matter?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
the
Well, I
airstrip
think
would
that,
also.
that's gonna be a pinpoint, that's gonna help the range, it's gonna help the equestrian center. I mean, any number of places out there that could move in, I mean, an
The
ideal
flyers.
place for a convenience store or a restaurant or something like that moves in out there to help those people out while helping the town too.
It's obvious the town needs every penny it can get.
Absolutely, and like
Yep.
you said, the Chino Valley Flyers have said they could have it. We've got the, what is it called, the Chino Bandito or Chino Runs coming in again, the ATV event, the Grinder, thank you, ma'am. Grinder's coming in, and most of those say that their people have to go and stay in Prescott.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that,
Oh, go ahead.
oh, just to kind of re-look at the RV park again, keep in mind when something like that comes into town and you talk about an impact analysis, an economic impact analysis, you have really simple ones, but then you have to remember, it's not just the construction that starts bringing money to town because it creates jobs. It's the $1 million RVs that'll go in there and the people that spend money here and stay here and do that. And then that money goes into the pockets of the people that work in our town, and then they turn around and spend that too. So every little thing that you can get like that absolutely helps.
Just one thing, I was looking at this last page with the tax revenue,
Oh, yes.
and we didn't discuss it, but I'm familiar with it. For the public, anybody who reads it, I think you need to understand why we're having this discussion.
Thank you.
Because once everything settles, we're gonna go back to roads and water are our big concerns. And there's gonna be a day when Tom's able to negotiate this through, where Prescott Valley and Chino and maybe the county have to collectively work to import water to have a 200-year supply of sustainable water. Unfortunately, if we don't turn this town around quickly, we're gonna be left out of that because we're not even gonna have the funding to pay for the loan for our little proportion. So we absolutely must start doing this. And at the same time, we gotta look at the UDO and see where we can back down and make it more enticing. You know, I don't know what those regulations are that we would back down on, but this is the time to do it when we're doing it all at once.
And for those who don't know, what he's referring to is in the packet, and it was an analysis that our finance director did, talking about what our financial outlook is, and that potentially 3 years out, because we don't have property tax. We rely on a lot of state shared revenues, and our percentage of those are growing down. Because if everybody else around, those are based on population, so everybody around us grows, so we go farther and farther down on the list, and we rely on sales tax. And so the only way to truly grow is to bring in those businesses, the right project, the right place, that will allow us to get more sales tax to fund the things we need to fund.
Yes, and this is a great resource to kind of, look at what Katie created, finance director, thank you, Katie. And then you can kind of tie that in to these different areas and determine, hey, if we could get this, this, and this was your TPT tax, not the other revenues I refer to, but your TPT tax that comes in. So.
And
So we appreciate that you're having this discussion and you understand that value, of why we're having this discussion and asking, direction and an investment from council in that we can bring things to you and you understand the importance of that.
And it's actually, the projection for Chino Valley for 2025 is that Chino actually, population went down 0.2%. So Chino, the projection is it didn't even grow. It actually decreased, so.
There's a little bit of an issue with the census. I don't know if you all have heard, but it's a totally different topic, but it does need to be talked about at some point.
It's affecting the school board. I mean, the school-age kids, I mean, look at the school board is, I mean, they're having their issues. And I'm just telling you, we're at a time where if we turn it around now, I honestly think we can make it long-term sustainable economically. But if we keep the no growth, all about me and mentality, this town is not on a trajectory.
Chino
that's
needs
gonna
to
be
grow
good.
responsible or it's gonna die.
Exactly.
I want to make a clarification. We learned that it is in your packet, that financial analysis, but it isn't in the materials that we had published to the public. So we will make that available to the public. If anybody wants it, they can reach out to us. We'll publish it on our website.
Larry, you had something
Yeah,
else?
Meg, this is just a recommendation I got from a constituent, but they were comparing the amount of open land we have here, especially OHM, to Wickenburg, and how Wickenburg is bringing in millions and millions of dollars for horse and equestrian events. And we've got all OHM out there, and Olson's is a jammed parking lot every event they have. Would it be possible to talk to Owens and say, do you guys want to lease some property out there, move your event center out there? I mean, more money for us, and we get out of the problems we have with the cup right there, and the issues that we've had with the neighbors at Olson's. So that might be somebody just as a recommendation to talk to, but they,
large enough
Wickenburg is now
arena.
the roping capital of the United States. We can
Large
do
enough
that.
arena and you could do rodeos, you could do county fair, you could do,
Yeah. we do
it's
everything.
kind of unlimited.
Eric, you got anything else?
Not right now.
Okay. Anybody else, questions, concerns, comments?
No, thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. Excellent presentation. Sherry, you're up.
Great. Thank you.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I have a motion, do I have a
Second.
second? I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed, hold your tongue. Thank you, folks. We are adjourned.
We can have a state